In this episode, we're talking about how to increase brand authority in AI-driven customer journeys. There are two kinds of people that are using ChatGPT right now. There are people who trust everything they read, they get an answer and they move on. There's no verification, there's no second thought. If ChatGPT says it, it must be true. But then there's another group. They're not cynical, they're not negative, they're just wise. They understand how to use AI properly. They know its strengths and they definitely know its weaknesses. So they question the answers that they get. They push back and they go deeper. Those are the people that you want as your clients. Now, let me know if you've experienced this. You're doing research inside of ChatGPT, you're asking questions, and it's giving you answers with total confidence. Step-by-step instructions, clear explanations. It sounds right, but then you check the sources and something feels off. You dig a little bit deeper and you realize ChatGPT made it all up. Maybe it quoted someone who never said that thing. Or maybe it gave you a process that completely breaks your system and you have to start over. And when you go back to question it, it deflects. It must be your version of software. It must be something else. Oh, that's what you meant by that. So that moment right there, that's the shift. That's the moment of doubt. So that moment is where everything changes, because up until that point, you just wanted an answer. Fast, clean, no human needed. But the second that trust breaks, you don't want more information. You want validation. You want proof. You want a person. Someone who has actually done it. Someone who has experience. Someone who can say, yes, this works. I've used it. This is the new customer journey. People move from answers to authority. And this is why there are two completely different behaviors. One person asks a question and accepts whatever they get. The other person asks a question, then starts verifying. They look for a video, they look for a face, they look for someone who has actually done the thing. The second person is your dream client. They value accuracy, they value experience, and they value results. Now here's where most businesses get this wrong. They think they need to be everywhere, post on every platform, every day, more content, more volume. You can't compete with that. There will always be someone posting more content than you, on more platforms than you, more frequently than you. That's a losing game. But you can outrank them easily because authority is not about volume, it's about precision. You don't start with content, you start with clarity. What does that mean? Well, ask yourself, who do you want more of? Of all the clients you've worked with, which ones do you actually want to work with again? And you have to be really specific. So what problem do you solve? What result do you deliver? Where is point A and what is point B? And your audience is anyone who is at point A who wants to get to point B. And they're ready for that transformation. Now, here's the shift. You don't decide what content to create. Your audience has already decided that. They're going online and they're asking questions. Your job is to find out what those questions are and answer them. But only answer the questions that your ideal clients are asking, nothing else. Where you put that content matters, because most platforms are not built for this. There's endless content on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, but none of it is structured. It's not indexed by topic. AI tools can't even find it. They can't rely on it. But YouTube is different. YouTube knows exactly what every video is about. It takes every single word of your transcription, it analyzes your video visually. So for over a decade, it's not relied on keywords or anything, and so your content on YouTube is indexed. So any content you put on YouTube is searchable by that topic. And if you search on Google, your YouTube video ranks on Google as well. It's also recommended on ChatGPT. So the moral of this story is, when you make a video that answers a specific question, you can rank for that topic immediately. Let me show you a search on YouTube. And I'm going to show you two different types of searches. If we type in construction management, you'll see Jason Schroeder. He's locked in the top 2 spots there. That's a really competitive space. And of course, we want you to rank there. When people type in your 2-word category, we want you to rank at the top. This is not where we started, so let me show you where we started. If you type in a really specific question like this, the average salary of a construction project manager make, I know that one's worded weird, but that's how people type it in online. Jason's ranking at the top for this. Or here's another question, can a civil engineer become a construction manager? And see how Jason is ranking at the top there? Or here's another question, he's the second video on this page. Or if you type in this question, there he is ranking at the top. Here's another question. So we've got hundreds of these questions where Jason is ranking at the top. That's where we started. We find the really specific questions, and then we eventually dominate a category. Let me show you another example in a completely different industry. So check out this question. If you go to YouTube and you type in what factors contribute to life expectancy and longevity, really specific question, you'll see Reagan Archibald below all the shorts. He's the first video. He's a men's health and a peptides expert. Let me show you some more examples. If you type in that question right there, there's Reagan ranked right at the top. If you type in that question, there's Reagan at the top. Another one with Reagan, another one with Reagan, another question with Reagan, right? So there's just hundreds and hundreds of these videos where Reagan is ranking at the very top of YouTube. So AI tools love pulling from these results on YouTube because it's organized, it's searchable, and it's tied to real people with real experience. So let me tell you a little bit about Reagan's experience. A year ago, an expert in this field, he has expertise, he had credibility, but he didn't have any search visibility. So we shifted the strategy. Instead of creating broad content, we focused on all the specific questions that I showed, one peptide at a time, and created content answering every question we could about it. Not for one video, but for every major question about that peptide, in this case, tesamorelin. You'll see that back in April of 25, he had no traction, and by the end of 25, complete domination, ranking for every single question on that subject. So that's what it means to own a topic. And after we dominated that one, we moved on to the next peptide and we repeated the process. Now Reagan is getting over 100,000 views every 28 days from YouTube search alone, not from viral traffic, but search traffic, which is far more valuable for lead generation. Owning a topic means this. When someone searches any meaningful question in that category, you show up over and over again. It's not just one video, it's dozens, each one answering a specific question. That's how you build dominance. So here's how this plays out. You start publishing content in month 1. You've identified those real questions and started posting those that all answer these precise questions. And as we get into month 2, you're already starting to see some traction on those videos. Many more videos each day are starting to rank. Month 3, real momentum has started to kick in. You're starting to show up consistently for all those questions on that specific category. So it just keeps compounding and compounding, more visibility, more trust, more authority. You repeat this process, moving on to different branches, different categories. By 12 months, that authority has translated into massive revenue. Typically, you've added an additional 7 figures of revenue to your business. This is because you're generating high quality, referral quality leads, pre-sold clients, clients that are already interested in working with you, and 7 figures is not unrealistic. Many of my clients make 8 figures just from following this strategy. You're not just making content, you're building a library of answers that are aligned perfectly with your ideal client. So when someone hits that moment of doubt, when they stop trusting the generic answers of AI, they find you. Now, if you ignore this shift, it's actually fine. You can keep doing what you've always done, networking, getting referrals, traditional marketing. But understand that search has already changed. For the last decade, people have been losing faith in search engine optimization. Keywords, metadata don't work anymore, link building. Everyone is still doing it for some reason, but none of it stands out. Search engines have evolved, and now they're backed by AI. Now they prioritize answers, not optimization tricks. We're no longer in that search engine world anymore. We're in the answer engine world. And in that world, authority is everything. So if you want to learn how to actually implement this, then go watch my next episode. It's called Achieve Category Dominance. I break it down. I show you a lot more examples so that you can understand how you can implement this system for you step by step. I'll see you there.